Hi, hello. Happy day after Mother's Day, which is the perfect day to have this conversation. I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about mothers and our experience with our mother. And if you've ever heard of the word mother wound, although we won't really go into that too much today. But, I just saw so much information on Facebook yesterday as people sent love to their mothers. Some people, are missing their mothers if their mother's not around anymore. And so that mother role in our life is clearly so critical, right? So, I started thinking about, and actually this is some of the work that I do, so it's not like I never thought about it before, but I started thinking about how that role and that space of mother energy, how does that show up for people? So to me, I think mother energy, I call it. When you think of the role of mother, right, in your life, whether it was the person who gave birth to you or somebody who was really influential in your growth, could even be an aunt or a grandmother or a neighbor or a best friend's mom. Like, what's that energy of that has us really think fondly? And we're going to talk in just a second about sometimes we don't remember so fondly, but what we really look for and crave is unconditional love, right? That's what mother energy in an ideal setting would be, is unconditional love. In fact, I had a client yesterday who sent me a message. Hi, Charm. Yeah, that I did coin myself, mother energy, as I was thinking about the conversation, right? There's like an energy to mothering, and we each have our own, but what's the ideal? What is the thing that really people yearn for in a mother, the thing that we miss when our mom is gone? So I had a client yesterday, sent me a picture of her mom. Her mom has been gone for, I think, many years. And she sent me a picture. Yeah, so this client is probably 40, and I think she said her mom died when she was like 22. So it's been a while. And when she sent me the picture, she said, "Oh, this is what I'm always looking for. My mom," and you could see in the picture, her mom was just a loving person. You could just see in her face, you could get her energy through the picture. And she said, "My mom just supported me. She always, no matter what I did, she supported and she led me and she loved me and she told me I was great." And that's what I've been missing for so much. And Charm says, unconditional love. Yeah, that's what I've been missing. And so that's the point of this conversation, is when we're missing that, we keep looking for it in other places. So if we're missing, and I'm talking about mother energy, maybe you're missing it because you never even had it. Maybe the kind of mom that you had, and this is not about judging, I'm just like looking to see, maybe mom wasn't there because she had to work multiple jobs. So she was more absentee than available. Maybe she was a little more of a, overbearing, and instead of really supporting, she sort of smothered. And that was your experience. Whatever it was, when we didn't get that ideal mother energy of unconditional love, we look for it forever after, right? So we're grown, we're no longer in our developmental stages, but now we're still looking outside for it. And that means we're hustling really hard to get that unconditional love. So we're looking for it maybe in the way that we do our jobs, right? Just getting back some of that acknowledgement that would have been an unconditional love in the mom energy. Maybe we're looking for it in people pleasing everybody so that we feel more worthy. That would have come in the mother energy of unconditional love, where we were told we were okay and good enough so that we wouldn't have to go please everybody else. But if we didn't get that, that's one way that it shows up, is in our own hustling. And so I didn't want this to be a super long conversation. I just wanted to put the bee in your bonnet of what was your experience in your childhood as what was the mother energy that was available to you? Were you a latchkey kid and felt sort of like you were on your own? Again, no judgment, but just if you start to look, there's something called the mother wound. So Charm says, one thing I learned from my mother is that my identity isn't tied up into being in a relationship with a man. And that's a really good point, Charm, because again, if we didn't get the unconditional love in that guiding energy, that mother energy growing up, we again look for it outside, and oftentimes we look for it in our relationship with men. And that also has a lot to do, we'll talk about it after Father's Day, right? But that has a lot to do with how our dads showed up for us. If we're always looking for approval from men, if we didn't get that in our father energy. But what I really wanted to talk about today is how powerful it is for you to decide here and now, today, that you're going to bring your own mother energy to you. So you're going to, if you never had it and you didn't get to experience it as a child, and honestly, most of us didn't, because we were raised by human beings. We were raised with people who were struggling, who had their own issues, who did their best with whatever they could do, but they struggled. So most of us didn't get complete unconditional love. And then wherever those gaps are, we try to fill them. So I want to invite you to fill it by loving yourself instead of going outside to other places, to other relationships, to people pleasing, to working really hard, to trying to prove worthiness. Go inside and develop your own self-love, your own unconditional love. Because when you do that, then you're bringing your own mothering energy to you. And you're not needing to do all of those things, right? Which is exhausting you. It's keeping you stuck in patterns, maybe with people who don't really support you, but it feels so familiar. You just keep going there. All of those things. If you develop your own self-love and your own unconditional love, and you mother yourself, take a few minutes, maybe tonight, if you have time, or in the next day or so, if you remember. Don't let it go too long, because as soon as this is over, you'll forget. But write out, what was my experience with the people who mothered me? What was missing? What am I trying to fill? And how can I shift into my own unconditional love for myself? What could I release if I decided to do that? So write it out, get really clear. That would be a great thing to do, to start to just really be clear on how that lack of unconditional love is showing up, and then what you can do to bring it to yourself. So those are all the things about self-love, cultivating self-love. That's a longer conversation than tonight. I just wanted to tie it to Mother's Day. If you are missing your mother because she was very unconditional and loving and brought great mothering energy, now it's time, because all of us as parents, our role is to teach our children to be self-sufficient, right? So now it's time for you to remember that child in yourself and to mother her or him. And if you didn't get it, it's past time to bring it to yourself. It's past time for you to bring your own mothering energy. How would you take care of a little child? What do you need that you didn't get? Where do you feel neglected? Where do you feel like, you were never heard? Where do you feel like somebody shamed you? And now you're holding that shame. What would you say to a little child who is having those experiences to make them feel better? How would you mother them? That's all you need to do. Okay? So think about that for tonight. I'm sure I'll see you again later this week. If you do that exercise, it doesn't have to be long, and you write it out and you notice anything for yourself, I would love for you to pop a comment and share that with me, and share it with somebody else. If you have a sibling, or if you have a friend that you know struggles with people pleasing or unworthiness or working so hard, taking on things all the time. Just say, hey, just try this exercise, see what comes up. Because once you start writing, it's pretty amazing what comes up. And then that opens the door for you to fill that gap for yourself. Okay? All right. Thank you, Charm. Charm always pops in and contributes great stuff to the conversation. And anybody else, please say hello. If you watch later, if you watch the replay, leave me a comment. Okay? All right. Have a great night.